Hello crafty friends, it's Jessica from Little Tortoise Crafts, and today I am planning on showing you the new Silhouette Studio version 3.0 cut settings and how those are a little bit different and also similar to version 2.9. So let's go ahead and get started. I went ahead and typed up hello so I can show you a little example of how to use one of the features here in just a second. So I'm already in the cut settings window, and to get there is the little blade that looks like a ratchet up here in the right hand corner. They went ahead and changed that picture, and it actually looks like the ratchet now. So it makes it a little easier to find. So we've clicked that, and then our cut settings window opens up, and there's two tabs, cut conditions and advanced. We're going to go ahead and go into the cut conditions by clicking the little triangle, and it's going to pop open the window, and there's some new things in here. The cut order, this is a new feature I've just started playing with. I'm not very comfortable, so I'm not going to share anything about it at this time. Maybe in a later tutorial, when I'm getting a little more comfortable with it, I can go ahead and show you how these cut by layer and cut by color features work. The next thing down here is the material type, and they have three commonly used cardstock, vinyl, and copy paper on the top, and then the rest of the Silhouette defaults are located right in here for you to choose. If the type of paper or material you want to use isn't in here and you're not finding it, you can always hit the plus button right here and go ahead and create a custom material type for you to use. So we're going to go ahead and click texture cardstock, and when you click that, there's the editing window comes open, and it tells me I'm working with texture cardstock. Do you need to, and it's basically saying, do you need to edit any of the settings for your machine? Because as I've said before, not all machines cut the same, so if you know your machine doesn't work with this setting, maybe your blade needs to be on 6 instead, then you can go ahead and adjust that here. But to adjust the blade, you can just use the right and left arrows here, and that changes your blade. But also remember, you have to change the blade in your machine, because clicking the arrows here does not change the blade in the machine. And then we're currently selected on ratchet blade. There's a couple more choices in here. There's these cat blades that are blue, yellow, and pink. I'm not quite sure. Those are something new that Silhouette's going to be coming out with. I haven't read anything or found anything about those. And then also you can get your sketch pen. So the two things currently that I use in here is the ratchet blade and then the sketch pens. So we'll go ahead and select ratchet blade. Then speed, thickness, and double cut are all the same as they were before. To adjust the speed and thickness, you can just grab it and slide the arrow, or you can use the up and down arrows on the right side here. Then we have the cut line pattern. You can click on that, and that will open up and show you several different options you have. You have lots of different perforation options if you need to change the cut line. And then this next new feature that is on here is the spine segment overcut. And this is for small scale straight lines or a denser type material when you would be using this to help get a better cut. Obviously for hello, unless I was cutting on chipboard, probably not going to need that feature. And then now we can click on the advanced tab feature. That's going to open up some more windows. Let's scroll down here. And we have auto weld, convert strokes to outline. Then we also have after the cut job, return to origin or feed. This one is totally a preference thing, what you want your machine to do after it's done with the job. Then layer sorting, this goes back up to cutting by color, cutting by layer. So when I know a little bit more about that, I can explain those a little bit more. And then this cut line sorting, you can do no sort. Basically, you're telling your Silhouette how you want it to cut. So you can just do no sort and it will just do its own thing. If you want it to maximize speed, you can click on maximize speed, and if you want it to minimize the roller movement, you can click on that. And you have to either pick maximize speed or minimize roller movement. You can't do both because they're kind of contradictory to each other. So if you want it to cut faster, then you maximize speed. If you would like it to take it slow and easy, then you just minimize the roller movement. So let's go back up to this auto weld. This is the feature that I kind of really wanted to show you and that seemed to be missing at first. I couldn't find. This is where before we had the little window that you could select with had the little red line with the scissors through it, and you could have no cut, cut edge, cut. I can't remember what other options were in there, but that's kind of the one feature I was missing. So back up over here on cut settings, I need to go back and work on my hello. I can't do that when I have the cut settings window highlighted, so I need to click on this blue little triangle up here. Now that's going to let me come back to my mat and work in it. I'm going to move the O over into the L, and I'm going to come back to my mat and click back on my cut settings. And as you can see now, if I were to cut this, my Cameo is going to cut on the black lines. And it's going to cut right through the O and the L and make a big mess. Where, as before in the old feature, I would just go up to the scissors with the line through it and I would just click cut edge and it would just cut right around it. That's where this auto weld comes into play. So I'm going to go ahead and select it. And as you can see, the black lines down the middle of the O and the L there disappeared. And now my machine is going to cut nicely around that edge. So let's go ahead and send this to the silhouette by clicking send to silhouette at the bottom. And now it's going to pop up the sending to my silhouette. It's yelling at me saying I couldn't connect, and that's because I don't have my machine plugged in at the moment, so that's why it's telling me that. So if my machine was plugged in, it wouldn't be giving me that. But as you can see here, there's this queue, which is a little bit different than the previous machine. You couldn't queue up a bunch of documents, and you can tell which document it is because this right here, Untitled 1, is the name. If you look down over on the left hand side here, Untitled1.studio is the file I'm working on. So I have sent 2 of the hellos to my silhouette to be cut. Now I don't need 2 hellos, so I'll just go ahead and click the X here, and that will make that one disappear. And so now I could go ahead and go and get plugged into my silhouette, and then I'm now ready because my silhouette's plugged in. I can click the start button and get it cut. Now what if I realize, oh shoot, I wanted to do a double cut, or I need to change those cut settings. You can just go ahead and click back on Adjust Cut Settings at the bottom, and it will take you right back into the cut settings window and let you adjust cut condition or any of the advanced functions that you want to change. So I think that kind of covers everything with the cut settings that I kind of wanted to share with you, so that way maybe you'll be able to get some of your images going and cut that maybe you're having a little frustration with. So I hope this video has helped explain the cut settings and how to go about using them in the version 3.0 Silhouette Studio software. I will be back with some other more short tutorials here within the next week to 2 weeks, just showing you some of the new features or where they've moved some of the features from the old one, or maybe changed the name, so that way you're not so frustrated when you're trying to use this new software. It's all a learning process, and it takes a little bit of time to get used to and get comfortable with, but we'll all get there and we can all work together to do that. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.